This video was brought to you by this comment. Okay, it's time for some Titania Prime fashion. So I've been asked to basically talk about Titania Prime, what she can do in terms of fashion. So let's get into it. Here we have Titania Prime sitting in the Blades of Eidolon, somewhere nice and sunny with a little bit of rain apparently, but that's okay. So what are the colors that I'm using for Titania Prime as I am normally running around with her? Well, here we have those colors. So this is the Titania Prime with the Solstice skin. I really like the Titania Solstice skin. I think it works really well with Titania. It's probably one of the best non-Prime skins out there in my opinion. That's just how I feel. So let's have a look. We're using the Titania Prime helmet, we're using the Solstice skin, we're using the Noble animation set. We'll check out the attachments and the sign data in a second. But in terms of the colors, the black is the darkest black possible from the Smoke palette. I believe it may very well be a little bit similar to the sort of gray that we have from the Saturated palette, but the gray is still a little bit lighter if you are able to notice that, or if it actually even translates in the video. The secondary color is going to be a saturated bright teal, or bright cyan, I guess. Teal might actually be closer to that. Bottom line is, I like to use the saturated palette a lot as opposed to the not so saturated palette like that. It's kind of unnoticeable at this particular moment in time, but I do prefer my saturated colors. Now, in terms of the tertiary, we are using this middle-of-the-road blue from the saturated palette, so it kind of contrasts really nicely with the overall blue and gold and, I guess, teal nature of Titania, at least for my fashion. Awesome. And for the accents, we're always going for the gold, so it's this particular gold right here. I have tried using the lighter gold, but I don't think it works out. It's a little subtle, but it's not really the kind of gold that I would go for. I feel like gold in other lighting as well, it's typically too bright in other lighting and too light in color. Go for this one instead. Now, if you remember back to my Titania Prime video, it is a zero formal build, and that remains the same. That's why the energy color is just one color. Otherwise, the emissive, which is actually the colors around Titania's head, that is a gold, which can change depending on what color you want. So if you notice on the top of her head, that is the color. And the secondary color is just the sort of other color right there. So I've gone for a green, so a gold into green kind of thing. That's how I have gone for Titania's fashion. In terms of the attachments, we're not using a chest plate at all. I feel like chest plates are just too cumbersome for someone like Titania. I'd rather just leave them completely alone. So we're using the Atavis Prime set with the shoulder pads and the legs. So this is the Atavis Prime shoulders, and the Atavis Prime legs are what is attached to her knees. If you have the Mirage Prime accessories, then you will have the Atavis Prime. And in terms of the ephemera, I am using the Vengeful Flame. So Vengeful Flame is one of the ephemeras that you can get from a Kuva Lich. I was able to get this particular one, but I have seen a particular ephemera. I can't remember if it's actually a Lich ephemera or if it's actually a Stalker ephemera, but it's possibly an electric type ephemera that works really well with Titania, because Titania is a floating WarFrame. So if I'm able to get that, then that is definitely the ephemera that I would use. And obviously, when it comes to the Cyandana, that is very important, so we're going to be using the Sari Cyandana. So the Sari Cyandana is butterfly wings. So the colors are exactly the same as my normal color scheme, except the secondary and the tertiary have swapped. And just like all wing type Cyandanas, if you do a bullet jump and then you land, the wings spread out, and that obviously works really well with Titania and of course Titania Prime. Also, even if you're using the Solstice skin, you still get the flappy wings as part of being Titania Prime. So if you're flying around in Razor Wing, you will still get that particular effect. But here's the thing, in Australia, we are moving away from summer and we're about to head into winter. So in order to not catch a cold, what do you need? You're gonna need a jacket. So here is Titania Prime, the winter collection, if you will. If you're finding yourself in a nice cold environment, you may want to put on a jacket, and that's what the Empress skin really looks like, a nice big warm jacket. And in terms of colors, we're actually using the exact same colors. It works out really well to translate from the Solstice skin, or by extension the Prime skin, to the Empress skin, also known as the Deluxe skin. So Once again, Prime Helmet Empress skin, the Noble animation as always. Our attachments remain exactly the same, our Titania remains exactly the same. And one thing I like about the Empress skin is that you actually lose the great big sort of razor wing thing that happens to be on Titania's hip when she's not in razor wing. I don't particularly like that as part of Titania Prime, and I believe Titania just regular in general. So the Empress skin being able to get rid of that, I think is a really nice look. And of course, when you're using the Empress skin, if you decide to jump into Razor Wing, like so, you will still get the butterfly wings as part of being Titania Prime. So that is, of course, a really important thing. Also, you may have noticed that the Dex Pixia looks a little bit different when I'm using the Empress skin. Now, this is actually not a function of just attaching the Empress skin. This is a function of having the Empress skin to begin with. So, here we have the Dex Pixia Prime, and I am using the Dex Pixia Hawk Moth skin. This is, of course, different to the regular Dex Pixia that kind of looks like, I don't know, something. Whereas the Hawk Moth skin looks like that. I feel like the Hawk Moth skin looks a little bit better. There is also a skin for the Duwata Prime, but I'm choosing not to use it, A, because I barely use the Duwata anyway, and B, because, well, the Duwata Prime actually looks pretty dope, whereas the Moth skin for the Duwata, I don't know, not really feeling it, in my opinion. So that's all of Titania Prime's fashion. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. How do you fashion your Titania or Titania Prime? She's quite easy to fashion in the sense that she looks good with a lot of things, including some Tenocon things, which I haven't talked about today. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more WarFrame content, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.